Hi, I'm Stephen Mallon. Welcome to the Power of Images. Today, I'll be talking about my photo essay, Padnose, an American recycling company. I have been traveling as a photographer for 20 years, finding these locations on the road, going to the dump and to the mine, was searching out textural maps at paper mills and tree farms. I started the American Reclamation project over 10 years ago. I've always been drawn to these subjects where I'm able to capture the illusion of texture. The audience doesn't even know that they're looking at a photograph. They can't tell if it's a drawing or a painting or a sculpture. It felt like a really interesting focus to try to locate companies and sections in the industry that were doing something positive for the environment in the United States. I was interested in Padnose because it was a family-owned business and have been involved in waste management for over 100 years. Trucks are bringing in cars, bales of rejected toothbrushes. They're dropping off appliances. They're dropping off post-industrial waste. This is an image of steel turnings. This is like the waste bin under a drill press. If you ever drilled into a piece of wood, you know the little fragments of wood that come out? They are stamping out so many holes that even though these are just little corkscrews, it is enough metal over time to keep collecting these and then smelt it down and turn it back into another sheet of steel or aluminum. The ferrous and non-ferrous metals all have different price points. They need to be separated when they come in, when it's a mixed environment. You'll see all the different things that are in there, anywhere from tricycles to the refrigerator and the microwave to somebody's dead minivan. This is a giant excavator. These semis will come in and offload entire truckloads from a scrapyard, and they just throw all of this metal up onto a pile. And then there's one guy sitting in this one excavator, and he periodically just reaches down and picks up a giant collection of this metal and drops it onto this conveyor belt that is feeding it into this shredder. So here's another example of industrial waste that has now gone into a small metal press where they put it into these little cubes to make it easier to ship. One of the other things that we were able to photograph is an electrostatic sorter. There was still a certain amount of metal that wasn't getting separated. And so they have this other machine where they're able to reclaim 4 or 5% of material. And it cuts down on the amount of waste that then has to go to the landfills. So these are transmission and heavy machinery parts. The metal is too dense to be in those other machines. This mountain of gears is 20 feet high. All of these parts are unique. I mean, there's such an amazing diversity of gears. There's no uniform system anywhere in the world. I originally thought that these were all of like the rejects coming off of a bottling plant, but somebody pointed out to me recently that this might actually be separation of the tabs because the metal's a little bit denser on the tops. The little elements of color help to break up this chaotic image. These are bales coming off of the car recycling. The car that's decommissioned for whatever reasons, out of age or if it was in an accident, it goes to one of these scrap yards and then they chop it up. The seats, the leather, the plastics that haven't been completely separated yet end up in one of these piles. And companies like Padnose go to quite a bit of effort to try to reclaim the materials as efficiently as possible. There's so much paper that can get reused. Inserts into the Sunday Times or catalogs being printed, box trimmings. So the paper will go into these balers, just shooting these bales out. So I just set up the camera and waited for the moments when they would actually get ejected. These are soup cans and paint cans crushed into these blocks. Title of this piece is Nothing Has Changed because a very similar image that I shot in 2004. Just that we're still doing the work that we need to do, which is keeping as much out of the landfills as possible. Padnose and all of the recycling effort that they're doing is great, and I am a strong advocate for cutting down as much waste as possible and eliminating the landfills. That being said, you've got this wonderful example of what's happening on Staten Island in New York, where Fresh Kills landfill that has been closed for 20 years is in the process of being repurposed and opened as largest city park in New York. It is going to be 2.5 times the size of Central Park once it's finished.